Well, it's been 10 years since The Dark Knight Rises. I give you a little update on my Star Trek TNG watching. It turns out Scarlett Johansson won't be rubbing and tugging, and as a Patreon exclusive, I'm going to talk about the ESPYs, as well as James Gunn getting dropped from the director's chair. Yeah, I've got a lot to complain about, so let's do this.
The recently canceled podcast with Von Fry.
Hey, how goes it? Welcome to episode 20, I believe it is, of the recently canceled podcast. Yeah, you guys doing all right, I hope? All right? You're probably doing better than me. So things just keep getting shittier for me by the minute. Had a little tablet that I write on and watch Netflix, and it completely shit the fan. Is that what they say? Yeah, this place, I fix it. You break it, I fix it. Said it'd be like $185 to replace the motherboard. I thought maybe I'll do it myself, but it looks like it's going to actually be cheaper to get a whole new one rather used on eBay, so I did that. So that can only be done with the Patreon support that I get from you guys. So big thanks to those of you. Also want to mention that those who have requested a signed mini poster in the mailed little postcard, I'm going to get me some little envelopes so that those don't get all banged up, in the postal service. Write those out to you. If you want to claim that prize, just accrue $5, okay? Or you can give $5 this month, go back to $1, whatever the hell. Anyways, I've got 50 of those left to hand out. So yeah, very limited edition. A little mini poster I designed myself. It says, Von Fry not on tour. Historically accurate. It was brought to my attention that a couple days ago we had the 10-year, what they're calling the 10-year anniversary of The Dark Knight Rises. Oh shit, The Dark Knight hitting theaters. Dark Knight Rises 2012. Now, I had thought that I saw this in the theater early in the summer, then saw Iron Man. But I had that mixed up. I actually saw Iron Man first, and then about a month later saw The Dark Knight. And, it's a good movie. There was a lot of applause, a lot of clapping at my screening, and this was from a pretty modest theater, maybe 300 seats. Not the greatest visual audio setup, but, better than what you'd get at your house, right? I mean, this was a fine-looking film. This was a filmmaker's film. This wasn't loaded with all the digital effects that make shit look fake. Compare this to how the Marvel Cinematic Universe looks, and you'll see what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, but it's Marvel. You can't say anything bad about Marvel on YouTube. Everybody's going to hate you. People already hate me. Okay? I can say whatever I want. I have that freedom. I actually had some assholes have a go at me over on Twitter, some guy with 1 million followers. And I just pointed out something, this was about Netflix the other week. I said, hey, Netflix is damaging stand-up comedy by offering too many opportunities. They're the gatekeeper, abusing their power, and it's watering down the product, and they know that they're getting it cheap. Then this guy has a go at me, turns into a personal attack. Sounds like you just weren't funny enough to get a special. You do not want to go at me with personal attacks. You will lose every single time because I have nothing to lose. Okay? What's the worst that could happen to me that hasn't already happened? Right? You have a job you can lose. Friends, family. I don't got that. That's what makes me so powerful. Anyways, people hated me for not loving The Dark Knight. I gave it 3 out of 4 stars. I think I had a super early style review where I just cut up the trailer a little bit and added some voiceover to it. I'm not even sure if I'd call that my first review on YouTube. It probably wasn't. I kind of like to think of that as going something more like Quantum of Solace or... what was it? Body of Lies? Was that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe? I think it was Body of Lies, right? Anyways, Yeah, I do have some video up if I can find it. I think it's on the Von Fry channel. So look there, look way back, and you may find it. I'll probably put the link in the comments. A few other little things to take away from The Dark Knight. I think that the star of the movie is the Joker. It was a good idea to not cut additional Joker scenes. They make sense, they add to the film. Probably the only thing he does that's too outlandish and out of character for how the character seems to be put together in the film would be the nurse bit. Really? Like, this guy is going to dress as a female nurse with the face paint and sneak past anybody? Maybe he took out a shitload of doctors. There's some security guards. I don't know. I thought that was just a little bit much. I thought that I'm sitting here, I'm eating almonds and caramel. These new, caramel M&Ms. Let me tell you about M&Ms. The more shit they do with them, the worse they get. The problem was that they had a hit with peanut M&Ms. And then they thought, what else can we put in here? And it only got worse from there. So when it comes to M&Ms, peanut or plain, that's it. Also, have you know that foreigners make fun of us for our inferior chocolates? Because we're all up on Hershey, M&Ms, these things. And they're like, oh, we got fine Swiss chocolates. And they're right. Our chocolates are inferior. I guess we have to deal with it. So, completely wasted the opportunity of how to utilize Harvey Dent. Like, okay, you make him Two-Face here, then you can battle Two-Face in the next movie. That would have made sense. You'd still have some sense of accomplishment in capturing the Joker and foiling his plot. So it's not like the movie ends with Frodo and Samwise walking up a damn hill, going, hey, we have a long journey ahead. Cut to credits. It ain't something like that. So I thought that was a bit off. But everything that Heath Ledger does in this movie is so damn good. I still think this could be the best performance ever. And it's probably a good thing that it's a supporting performance. And of course, he gets a supporting actor Oscar nomination. And this movie being stiffed from the Best Picture category ended up ruining the Oscars further because next year they decided to make 10 movies Best Picture nominees. So everybody gets a turn. Inclusion, everybody. Diversity. Look at all this inclusion we're doing. We're better than you, right? That's what Hollywood's saying. But look at it like this. If the Joker is the lead, you get tired of the Joker. He's going to run out of gags and jokes. Things are not going to have the same punch. He can't get increasingly violent and it still work. There's just the right amount of Joker in this movie that everything he gets to do is absolutely top notch. So think about it like that. No one else has said this on YouTube because I'm a genius. And geniuses don't review movies anymore. Alright, so what do we got next for you? I've been watching Star Trek TNG. I'm on Season 5 now. A few things I want to point out here. If you're listening to this, you've probably seen Star Trek, The Next Generation. If you haven't, it's available on Netflix. It might even be on some other platforms too. But I recently got back into watching this because they redid a bit of it. Got it in high definition over on Netflix. For a while there, they had it streaming and it wasn't in high definition. It's a bit of an eyesore watching HD TV, of course. I'm at Season 5, and there are some changes so far this season. About 6 episodes deep, and I've noticed that somewhat occasionally, Picard will have a jacket. I try to look this up, and it's like informal attire. So he's roaming around, maybe on an away mission. Now, if you're up on the bridge, do you need a jacket on your very well air-conditioned, I'm assuming, Enterprise, the flagship of the fleet? Probably not. But he has this jacket in the first scene. Well, I think it was the first episode of Season 5, or maybe it's episode 2. He had the jacket on, and it clearly had leather shoulder pads, like on the sides. The shoulder area was leather. But in the few episodes I've seen since then where this jacket's made an appearance, it was like suede or crushed velvet all around. It's not a bad look. I think you could pick it up on Think Geek, but it. No one seems to be recognizing the leather version. That there were actually two jackets. But I mean, it's not a bad look for the captain or for anybody else. It just doesn't really stick around. But hey, you can dress up like Picard like this, if you want to go bald. Another thing, they have Babe editions. This Ensign Ro Laren, not bad looking. This is can't remember her name. She was in that movie California with Brad Pitt and Fox Mulder. Anyways, this is her at the height of her powers. But then, I've seen Ashley Judd in a couple episodes, playing, I think her name's Leffler. Was she a lieutenant? She works alongside Geordi, gets bossed around by him, and then Wesley Crusher comes back for an episode to say hi to everybody and be like, I'm still alive, is the show still good? Oh, it's better without me? Oh, my bad. And then they have a fling, and I think that those two had a deleted scene in Star Trek Nemesis where they were at a wedding, and it didn't include them. But I think the idea is that they stay together. This is Ashley Judd in 1991 at definitely the height of her powers. Meow. Yeah. So they definitely said, look, we got to get some hot chicks on board here. Another thing that's kind of been bothering me, people haven't really brought up as far as TNG goes. I'm running a level 1 diagnostic. Computer, run a level 5 diagnostic. Run a level 3 diagnostic. What does that mean? Okay, so we're checking to see if the system is operational or need a repair. I got that. But what is the more deep and thorough diagnostic, 1 or 5? I needs to know. I can't seem to figure this out online. People seem to be baffled by it. There's no YouTube videos about the Star Trek diagnostic stages. So, what do you guys know about that? If you know something, comment below, or else. Think you can handle that? Also, a bit late here, but I want to talk about this. Scarlett Johansson, this is about a week ago, was said to have gotten the lead role in a movie called Rub and Tug about a transgender female. Is that what you call it when someone ends up a female? A post-op female? Or was it a guy? I don't know. Massage therapist, I guess, gets involved in some kind of prostitution ring. It's called Rub and Tug. And people were upset. Scarlett Johansson has had a bad go about this with Ghost in the Shell. It was cultural appropriation. Oh, look, we have a white girl playing the Asian. And I think in the movie, though I'm not sure, it's like she was an Asian person put in the white girl, shell of an android. So, okay, that can work. But it seems a bit weird to me that Hollywood needs to remake a Japanese property. Yes, I know I'm being a hypocrite here because The Ring is amazing and Ringu is simply alright. But when something is well known or known enough to its base, it doesn't actually need a remake. They can just appreciate that form. With The Ring, people around here had no idea what Ringu was. So it was a whole new thing. And it had better effects. Well, okay, some parts. Maybe the horse didn't look that great. But you see where I'm going with this, right? There was just this Hollywood cash grab idea. Oh, hey, here's a property we can make some money off of. Let's make it white now. There we go. We'll make it Hollywood. Now Scarlett Johansson's getting this other deal going. And she seems to be the poster child of cultural appropriation at this point, which is really bizarre. When the kids were stuck in the cave in Thailand, people were like, who's going to play the kids in the movie? And they just put Scarlett Johansson's head on them. Now, in the case here, I think this is a bit too weird for me with the way Hollywood's going here. Like, you can't even predict what's going to offend people anymore. Case in point, GLAAD, right? GLAAD stands for Gay Lesbian Alliance Actors Directors. I just made that up. I think I got half of it right. So, 10 years ago, and until, let's say, even 2 or 3 years ago, or hell, if we go back 20 years, if you played a gay character on TV, you're getting a GLAAD award. You play a gay character in a movie, you're getting a GLAAD award. Now, if you don't make him a complete buffoon, and of course, if they are made up to be, oh, hey, look how innovative this gay character is. Oh, look, he's kind of a badass, too, because he got to kill somebody. Or he really told off that person and saved the day. He's a positive gay role model. You could have a straight white guy play a gay character, and they would be guaranteed an award. I absolutely guarantee it. Any name actor, Brad Pitt could play a gay character, he's getting an award. Now, they're saying, oh, look, you're taking jobs away from gay actors. Scarlett Johansson here, she's taking jobs away from transgender actresses, whatever. She's taking the jobs away instead of getting the award. It used to be enough to be an ally, but now they don't give a shit about allies. They're like, no, we're just looking out for us alone. So, gay, lesbian, transgenders, or not. You know, you're either one of us or you're not. You're not with us or against us. You're either one of us or you ain't. And therefore, you're against us. With this kind of attitude, how can anybody get on board with your cause? How are we supposed to give a shit about transgender people if they're going to act like they're better than us? Right? Are we coming across this like weird area where like transgenders are like the cyborgs? They're like enhanced humans and everybody else is just inferior? Because this is some absolute nonsense right here. And if you want to be really hypocritical, all right, transgender folks, guess what? You can't play anything but transgenders. How about that? You like that little twist of the knife right there? I'm going to let you in a little secret here. Shit's called acting. Okay, Scarlett Johansson, not a good actress, isn't hired to play Scarlett Johansson every movie. That's the honest truth right there. She's supposed to play Black Widow, but not a convincing Russian. She's supposed to do all these other parts, right? The whole point of acting is that you play somebody other than yourself, unless you're Sylvester Stallone. So, what are we supposed to do now? Oh, hey, this character was written as a white girl. Okay, has to be a white girl. All right. Well, what are we doing over here with this Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie, huh? Where we have this, what's her name, Claire Foy from The Crown. Why do we have an English chick playing an American Supreme Court judge? Couldn't we find some Japanese entitled, oh shit, not Japanese, you know, Jewish American princess entitled whores to play Ginsburg? Couldn't we find some of them? Or is she taking jobs away? What about all this shit where we turn the ethnicity around? You know, so the guy who holds the sword, the gatekeeper dude, over on Asgard. Well, that character was white. Are we going to say, hey, Idris Elba, you're taking away white people jobs, cultural appropriation, blah, blah? No, because whenever it benefits these groups, they're willing to look the other way. Oh, hey, look how inclusive and progressive we are. We changed a gender, a race, whatever, so that we could get some more minority roles in there. That's what they're going to say. So the door to them doesn't swing both ways. And that's why people hate you. Because you're hypocrites. And you're full of shit. Jesus. Alright, so that's going to do it for this week's recently canceled podcast, the free version up on YouTube. In just a minute here, I am going to get in on the ESPYs. So if you want to hear about that, Check out the full version by going to patreon.com/VonFry. Subscribe, just $1 a month gets you full access.